I think obviously tremendously successful camp. I think a lot of positives. You know, today the game was just kind of icing on the cake, so to speak. All week was all of the work invested by your sons and daughters in technique and fundamentals and mechanics, and that's where the growth begins and starts to lay a foundation for them as they mature and develop. You know, first of all, I think all you, the campers, y'all need to give your parents and your guardians and your grandma and grandpa, aunts and uncles a nice round of applause for allowing you to participate in this camp. You know, they made it possible for you. You know, they made the sacrifices. And then also, especially all of you overnighters, you need to give some applause. We had a very fortunate group. We had 4 father counselors here, Troy and Walter and Steve and Scott, who just did a fabulous job of rapport and a relationship, not just herding them around like, you know, cattle from dorm to dorm and field to the cafeteria, but spending time with them, talking with them, counseling them, offering them support, you know, helping them comport themselves a little bit better in terms of taking care of their room, cleaning up, you know, things of that nature. So all you guys need to say thank you. Where are all the father counselors? You're hiding out in the audience. Oh, right back here. Okay. And seriously, they gave up a week of their time. You know, they gave up a week of their time, and it came and contributed, and very, very kind and considerate of them, and they did a fabulous job. And then lastly, you know, you all did the work and the drills and the activity and the physical part of the game, but you had a lot of people provide you with hundreds of years of experience as a coach and as a player, some of whom were in the professional ranks, and you know, some are still coaching, some are in college, and so they gave you lots of years of experience and knowledge to allow you to have a greater successful experience and a more positive experience here, and give you a chance to grow and develop, and that's all of your coaches. I was telling one of the other mothers earlier this morning, as we were talking about something, looking at this week, she says, well, what does my son have to do, or where does he have to go? Basically, you just started to lay the foundation, as I mentioned earlier, and I look at it this way. It's an investment that has been made, and it's like, we always used to use the analogy of, you could take $100, okay, and give it to a person, they take it home and they put it in a drawer. You give the $100 to someone else and they take it to the bank and they buy a CD or they put it in a money earning account. So then you look at it a year down the road, 6 months down the road, the person who put the $100 in the drawer, all he has is the $100. It hasn't grown. In fact, with today's economy, it might have lost a little bit of value. Then the other person who put the money in the bank, it's going to pay them dividends or interest earned on their investment. And so all of you have invested your time in this week, putting your energies into it. Now you go out and you practice and you work on the fundamentals and the drills and the mechanics and the techniques that you've acquired in this week. So now you've taken that money, and now you're going to see as you grow the next 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, year, 2 years, 3 years, that is going to be your dividends and your return on your investment in this camp. That growth, that maturity, that development as an athlete through your, you know, preteen and your teen years, you know, and as you mature and work your way, matriculate your way through high school, that's going to be the return on the investment that you made to come to this camp. The return on the investment of your sweat and blood and your efforts and your energies. And that's where it is. This is just the first step, but we've allowed the door to be open and exposed you, immersed you into an environment, into a culture that allows you to have the benefit of that experience that was given to you, and plus your energies and efforts, that you can now go forward and your game is going to grow and improve. When you go to your team workouts this fall after a long summer, you should see a different, as you look at your sons and daughters play, you should see a different level of performance from them having the benefit of a camp as opposed to those who did not make that investment. So it should show on the field. But between now and the fall, they just can't put the pads in the closet and then just think that they can walk in there, open the door and put them on, and then they're going to pick up right where they left off today. So they've got to take some steps and a process between now and then. You got to go out there a couple days a week in between your video games and turn off the TV and put away the computer and put away that iPod stuff and everything else you're listening to, and get out there and do your agilities, do your stretching, do your drills, do all those mechanics and techniques. Otherwise, the muscle memory that we've created now does not have the repetition so that it becomes ingrained as part of you, to be able to function on a day in and day out basis. So you got to go out there and repeat it correctly, and then it becomes part of your nature, and then it becomes more familiar to you. You become more adept at doing it, and that's the only way you make strides and go forward. But you make the effort. Think about what you've done this week. Now let's take it to another level, okay? And that's what it's all about. And those who do rise to the top and whose game goes up to a higher level are those who are willing to pay the price and invest time, energy, and effort, in the game. And those are the people who have the success when they play the game on the field. So you want to take that with you. Be motivated about it. Okay? Now we all